Ladies and gentlemen, on December 1st, 2025, the meteorological landscape across the Atlantic, Caribbean, Central America, Canada, is showing many notable developments, creating a turbulent first week of December. Although the hurricane season has officially ended, the weather over the Caribbean Sea and the entire Atlantic Basin is far from calm, as a very large moisture band is gathering offshore to the east, ready to move inland under the influence of cold fronts coming down from the north. What is particularly striking is that, despite the absence of any developing tropical cyclones, we are facing the risk of heavy rainfall, flooding, and prolonged rough seas over a wide area. In the south, from St. Lucia and Barbados to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, rainfall is increasing markedly as the Atlantic moisture band continues to push in. The latest forecast models all agree that from tomorrow afternoon through midweek, many areas may record total rainfall of 50 to 100 mm, and even higher in places if strong convective bands form continuously. Steep terrain areas or residential zones along rivers and streams in St. Vincent, Grenada, or Tobago must be especially cautious regarding flash floods and landslides, particularly as the soil has already become saturated from previous rainfall. Heavy rain is not limited to the southern Caribbean islands. Northern islands such as Dominica, Martinique, Guadeloupe, and Antigua-Barbuda will also see an increase in rainfall by midweek, mainly during the late afternoon and evening, though not prolonged for many continuous hours as in the south. Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands remain relatively stable with a rainfall probability of around 20–40%, lightly influenced by a cold front gliding by to the north. The formation of this rain band has a very clear cause. From the northern Atlantic, a sequence of cold fronts is moving southward, pulling strong east-northeasterly winds along with them. When encountering the moisture band already accumulating offshore, these two factors work together to create a moisture corridor that directs all the humidity southwestward. This phenomenon is common in early December when cold air from the North American continent strengthens, allowing heavy rainfall to form easily even without any tropical storms or depressions. The hurricane season has ended, but the atmospheric moisture has not decreased at all. This explains why the Caribbean continues to face heavy rainfall for many days ahead. Not only rain, but the sea conditions in the eastern Caribbean are also forecast to turn rough from Wednesday through Friday. Cargo routes and cruise ships passing through the Atlantic Passage will encounter high waves and strong winds of level 6 to 7, with choppy seas posing significant danger to small vessels. Many fishing boats are advised to limit departures, especially at night when the northeasterly winds intensify suddenly. The area between Barbados, St. Lucia, Martinique may experience unusually high waves directly affecting marine operations and coastal tourism. In Central America, the situation is not much better. Colombia, Panama, and Costa Rica have undergone many consecutive days of rain, causing localized flooding in some areas. Heavy rainfall continues along the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua and Honduras. Mountainous regions in Honduras face a high risk of flash floods due to steep terrain and concentrated runoff. In Belize, Jamaica, and the Cayman Islands, rainfall appears scattered and does not cause major disruption. However, with the westward shift of the Atlantic moisture band, some places may see a slight increase in rainfall by midweek. While the Caribbean and Central America face heavy rain and rough seas, North America is preparing for a strong snow event as a Colorado low approaches the Great Lakes and eastern Canada. According to forecasts, this system will begin affecting the region from Saturday night and continue through Sunday. The areas along Lake Huron and southwestern Ontario will be the most impacted. Huron County may receive 15–20 cm of snow in less than 24 hours. In Toronto, snow is expected to reach 3 to 5 cm on Sunday morning, but in higher elevation areas such as Oak Ridges or the northern outskirts of the city, the snowfall may be greater. By late morning, as a warm front moves in, the entire GTA is expected to transition to mixed rain and snow for several hours, creating slippery roads and hazardous travel conditions. Authorities advise residents to limit long-distance travel on Sunday morning and early afternoon. Immediately after the Colorado low moves eastward, strong cold air will push into the Great Lakes region. This is the ideal condition to reactivate lake-effect snow, forecast to intensify from Sunday night into Monday. Areas along Lake Huron, Georgian Bay, and the northern shores of Lake Ontario may receive an additional 10 to 15 cm of new snow, raising the total accumulated snowfall to a very high level. Many roads in Ontario may experience refreezing conditions as nighttime temperatures drop significantly. Overall, even without any tropical storms or depressions in the Atlantic, the weather across the region is developing in extremely complex ways. The Caribbean faces prolonged heavy rainfall, rough seas, and widespread flooding potential. Central America continues to experience rain over already saturated ground, increasing the risk of flash floods. The Atlantic records high waves, heavily affecting international shipping routes. In the north, Canada is preparing for a major snowstorm accompanied by strong winds and reduced visibility. Together, these create a chain of impactful weather patterns in the very first week after the 2025 hurricane season has ended. Ladies and gentlemen, in the coming days, Caribbean localities should closely monitor heavy rainfall alerts, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, St. Lucia, and Barbados, where the highest amounts are expected. Fishing vessels and cruise ships should avoid midweek travel through strong wave corridors, especially the Atlantic Passage. In Canada and Ontario, residents must prepare for 20 cm of snow, slippery roads, and potential travel disruptions this weekend. We will continuously update the latest developments as new information becomes available. Thank you for watching the bulletin. If you find it useful, please consider liking, subscribing, and enabling notifications so you won't miss upcoming weather updates. Wishing you a safe and favorable day ahead.